Latest on what we're expecting as far as the forecast goes.
Yeah, I could tell by the look on your face it's not all great.
Things are going to be changing.
Okay. We begin today at 5 with new cases of COVID on the rise. National case counts are up for the coronavirus, and around the state, there's been a very slight increase as well. Nothing alarming. Places like Philadelphia have seen enough of a rise that they are actually taking proactive steps. And health officials here say they are also remaining vigilant. Sarah Schuchman has been looking into the numbers.
We're in good shape here in Cuyahoga County. Our COVID positivity numbers are nearly the lowest they've been in a long, long time.
Look at the case counts and the positivity rate, and they paint a positive pandemic picture. Exactly a month ago, the state changed from daily COVID reporting to its weekly Thursday updates. While all of Northeast Ohio appears low risk, some critics say weekly numbers coupled with more at-home testing mean it's more difficult to gauge where we're headed.
If we see big outbreak and maybe we didn't see it in cases yet, we can target resources in the area of the state.
That's where wastewater monitoring comes in. A surge in sewage can foreshadow community spread, like the Northeast has been noting for weeks.
You can see the virus RNA in the wastewater, and you can estimate the prevalence in the community from that. And it's also early indicator, definitely, of hospitalizations.
Dr. Zuzana Borarova interprets data from 70 sites around Ohio, including the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District, where the Easterly plant noted a 1,000% uptick at last report. This has been in place since the summer of 2020, but in an endemic stage, the biweekly testing and ability to sequence the virus to identify new variants has new importance.
It's this snapshot into the community. It's being uploaded to ODH every day. And they look at the data and send alerts if they need to send alerts.
Local health districts say attention to clusters of cases in schools, daycares, and nursing homes is also a daily focus.
We're tracking that on a day-to-day basis to see where those are occurring, and so that we can implement methods pretty quickly to ensure that we are able to limit the spread further.
Today, President Biden extended the nation's public health emergency for another 90 days, and the mask mandate on planes and other public transportation is extended until May 3rd. So the next month could really be critical here, as the wastewater data can pop 2 to 4 weeks before cases do. And one theory on the increase of cases in the Northeast says they were part of the early Omicron surge, meaning immunity from vaccinations and prior infections may have waned more quickly there than in other places. But you'll remember Cuyahoga County, Jay, was also part of that early surge.
That's right, we were. I'm fascinated, Sarah, by the wastewater monitoring. It's so interesting. In fact, it may actually be the best true indicator as to how much coronavirus there is in any one community at any given time, because the testing is so all over the place. Was this new technology during the pandemic, or has this always been there?
Well, it has been done before for polio in developing countries around the world in the 80s, but it has never been used for public health intervention on such a large scale here. As you said, you don't even have to have symptoms. This is constantly going on, and in such a large scale, 500,000 people in some of these reports. So Dr. Borarova says this early monitoring is now going to be used perhaps for influenza in some communities as soon as this fall. And the CDC is also recommending other uses for respiratory disease and so-called superbugs too, those bacteria resistant to antibiotics, and they may use those in future applications.
Very interesting use of the technology. Yeah. Sarah Schuchman, live from the newsroom on What's News. Sarah, thanks.
I want to get to development now in the subway shooting in Brooklyn, New York that took place yesterday. Police have arrested Frank James in Manhattan this afternoon. Investigators spent more than 24 hours searching for James after connecting him to the shooting. A Crime Stoppers tip led the police to James. He's accused of opening fire on a Brooklyn subway car, wounding 10 people and injuring 13 others. According to the Associated Press, federal investigators tracked the gun used in the attack to a pawn shop in Columbus, Ohio. He bought it back in 2011. The U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York announced late this afternoon that James was charged with federal terrorism, at least one offense.
Betsy, now on your feet at 5. Tonight, Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb will give his first State of the City address. So he's actually our first new mayor in 16 years. Bibb campaigned on plans to modernize City Hall as well as police reform. He's expected to talk up both of those topics. He's also likely to talk about his first budget, which is larger than last year's and recently won the support of City Council. Residents and leaders are invited to the address. It's tonight at 7 o'clock at the Maltz Performing Arts Center near University Circle. Mark Namick will have more on Justin Bibb's State of the City tonight at 6 and 11.
And as Mayor Bibb gets set for his State of the City address, our Neil Fisher has been in Ohio City asking community members how they think Bibb's first 100 days has gone. Neil, what have you been hearing?
Good evening. It's really been a mixed reaction thus far in Ohio City. Some say they love what the mayor has done, while others say they wish that the mayor has done more with the time while he's been in office. We spoke with several people in the Ohio City area this afternoon near the West Side Market. Some say the mayor needs to make changes. Others simply say he's right on track.
Well, I'm fairly satisfied so far. I want to give the man a chance. You know, he's young, he's black, and I think that's what Cleveland needs. And I'm willing to give him a little bit of chance and some leeway with some mistakes.
I think he's on the right track. He has surrounded himself with bright people, and we are very happy with what he has done so far.
With that mixed reaction to Mayor Bibb's first 100 days in office came some changes community members would like to see. Coming up on 3 News at 6 o'clock, we'll dive into those changes that some community members want to see and the proposals they have for the mayor. In Ohio City, Neil Fisher, 3 News.
All right, Neil, thank you so much.
Now, as Mayor Bibb reflects on 100 days in office, we're looking at the diversity of his cabinet. Mayor Bibb is retaining some members of the former administration. However, he's also created new positions and hired a much more diverse group, including many women leaders. Tonight at 7, Sarah Shookman looks at Bibb's boss ladies of CLE. 3 of the women tapped to help meet those goals: Chief Communications Officer, Director of City Planning, and Senior Strategist for the West Side Market. Sarah talked with all 3 about the city's priorities and the day-to-day work they are doing. You'll see that coming up tonight in the front row at 7 o'clock.
Well, it's almost here. Opening day over at Progressive Field, just 2 days away now. The game is sold out again. It's the 29th year that it is.
Yeah, that's incredible. As with every new season, there's always something new over at the ballpark, and it's not just the name. I mean, this season there's more change than ever before. Yeah. Now, the Guardians held a media preview event today, and the most obvious change, of course, the name and the signage. Everything with the old name is gone, but also new this year, the team is introducing some new ticket offers. For example, there is now a family value pack, 4 tickets for $80. That is a great value. And you get $40 to use on merchandise or concessions.
Wow.
And there's plenty of new merch, trust me, to choose from. Plus, some new menu items. That's what Betsy and I always look forward to. From chicken and waffles, how can you go wrong with that, to the Southwest burger, even mac and cheese bowls with pulled pork or bacon.
We always put the fans as the focus of our actions, and every decision we make is always about the fan. And I think food, when you think about baseball, you think of food, and you obviously have to have the classics. You need to have your Cracker Jack, you need to have your hot dogs, but it's fun to kind of wrinkle in some new items.
Oh, it's my turn. I'm reading the menu. I'm previewing. They are making it easier than ever to order food without missing the action on the field. The team is expanding the number of mobile order locations from 6 to 10. That means you have more options to choose from without having to miss the game while you are waiting in line.
I think that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Because especially when it's late in the game and it's a good game, you're getting hungry, you need a drink, you don't want to get up and miss an entire half inning. But when you can order on your phone, it makes everything so much more streamlined. You're not wasting so much time down by the concession stand. One more thing to note, the Guardians are going back to the bag policy that was in place in 2019 pre-COVID. That means fans can once again bring small bags into the ballpark. A lot of people will be very happy about that because when it went away, everybody's like, wait a minute, you give it to us and then you take it away. I like to, it's good to take a little bag of stuff.
Sure.
And now you can again.
Yeah. Well, I am just excited to get back over to the ballpark and hopefully have a dry night.
Yeah, no rain.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, that's the hope. We're going to find out what opening night is going to look like on Friday in just a little bit with Matt. 3 News has you covered for all home opener events. Our special coverage on Friday begins at 3. Then Betsy and I are taken to what's new at Progressive Field, a special show coming for you on Friday. And then first pitch between the Giants and the Guardians, 7:10.
Next on What's New, a local Clevelander has big plans to visit all of the Clevelands across the United States. How he plans to use his trip to give back to a local organization.
I love this kid. He's a great social media follow if you're a big Cleveland sports fan. Plus, third secret supergroup. Iconic band members come together for a new album. We have the details coming up in Pop Rake.
All right, Matt, we've given a little preview of some of the challenges we may have coming our way over the next couple days. But we have some challenges this evening we have to get through.
We do. I couldn't get out of the Weather Center fast enough, but the camera came on too fast. We've got some challenges here this evening. The rain moving back into northeast Ohio from the southwest. This is associated with that system that could bring us some thunderstorms overnight tonight. Your outdoor forecast this evening, I would forget about it. I know it's nice outside, but we do have rain moving in. We'll highlight rain, storm chances, and our opening day forecast coming up.
Well, it all started with one tweet. Local content creator with a whole lot of Cleveland pride, he decided to visit all 13 Clevelands in the United States.
That's pretty cool. That's when Joe Kinsley, a.k.a. Sir Yacht, tweeted this map with the caption, "I mapped out a trip to every city in the U.S. named Cleveland." And by the way, Betsy, if you look at that, it sort of looks like the United States.
It does.
Doesn't it? It goes down to Florida there.
Yeah. We knew that.
So he's going to go to all of these Clevelands, and he said he would do it if he got 10,000 likes. Well, of course, Clevelanders came through. Sir Yacht is on the road trip right now, and we had a chance to talk to him before he left.
I got a 10-day window. If this happens, it won't happen. But if it happens, I'll say something outlandish like, if this tweet gets 10,000 likes, I'll do it. It got 10,000 likes in 2 hours. I thought it would get 10,000 likes maybe in a month, maybe. But I'm just looking forward to like just seeing all these different places, kind of seeing a lot of the country in such a short amount of time and interacting with, a bunch of different people. It's going to be so fun.
How about that? Siriat posted a picture from his first stop, Cleveland, New York. Sounds so weird to say that.
It really does.
And then his second stop, Cleveland, North Carolina. He plans to document his entire trip, and of course, it's for a good cause.
Yeah, so here's what he's doing. He's set up a GoFundMe page that will actually cover gas and any other expenses he incurs on his Cleveland trip around the USA. Any money raised above what he will spend on his bare minimum travel costs will go to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. So there you go. Search for the GoFundMe. You go to his Twitter page. He's very active on Twitter.
Yeah, he's a hoot.
I've been on his podcast a number of times. He's really funny. He's just got a great sense of humor. He's extremely witty. I love the way he views Cleveland sports. We tend to take it seriously.
No.
He does it tongue in cheek and kind of mocks us, but at the same time, it's endearing because we all know that's how we are.
Is this where I'm allowed to say that there's more than 13 Clevelands in the United States?
Yeah, I thought when I first saw his tweet, I said there's got to be more than 13.
There are. So we maybe this is the east
of the Mississippi.
East of the Mississippi Clevelands.
Yeah.
And then we go west of the Mississippi Clevelands.
Because there's definitely more than 13.
Yeah.
We don't want to tell him that, though, right now.
We see it all the time when we do maps as we transition now to Matt because, we do storm tracking and we're in all kinds of areas around the country to look at radar data and whatnot.
Yeah.
And every now and then it pops up and it always sticks out to me because I'm like, oh, there's a Cleveland.
Yeah, I only thought there was one. So
there really is only one.
Yeah. Only one that matters.
Your weather word today is charity.
Okay.
All right. So have fun with that.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. Look at the dark clouds behind you. You guys see that?
I know.
Yeah. Take shelter over at the desk there. Check that out. Yeah, there you go. Live look CSU cam, some of the darker clouds coming in from the west. We've got rain that's going to overtake northeast Ohio here this evening. But in terms of severe threat, boy, we're looking good. Remember last couple days we said we have to keep an eye on this, but the instability and the timing didn't really line up, and it still looks like that. So no big severe weather threat here locally tonight. That's the good news. Look at the temperatures. A lot of us reaching our highs right now with this last push of warm air. 76 in Akron right now, almost 80 in Dover, 78 in Carrollton. You notice the warmth gets all the way up towards the lakeshore. A little bit cooler off towards the west. That's rain-cooled air. That's not the cold front yet, but you can see where the cold front is. We've got 80s and 70s out ahead of it. We go from 60s in Chicago down into the 30s as you get into the areas of Iowa that were in the 80s yesterday. So what a sharp mark it is with this front as it pushes east. You can see all the shower and thunderstorm activity out ahead of it. The main line producing severe weather down towards the south. We still have an ongoing blizzard areas of North Dakota. It's been rough for them up there. But in terms of severe weather threats, the Storm Prediction Center's kind of tapered this down south a little bit further. You notice how, we have a very slight chance, especially western counties. That's about it. Bulk of the action tonight expected to be in Louisiana and areas of western Tennessee and Mississippi as well. So for us, we're going to deal with rain. So let's time out that rain. You notice this batch we have coming in. This will overspread the area this evening. Looks like just light to moderate rain at this point. The heavier stuff is back towards Illinois associated with the front. That will move in here likely around midnight or so. That's when we'll get some heavier stuff, perhaps some gusty winds with that as well. But we've enjoyed a nice little dry rush hour here this evening. Some of the rain starting to push into the Ashland area, eventually up into the Norwalk, spreading into the Cleveland area here over the next hour and a half or so. Hour by hour forecast. Look, our in-house model doesn't have anything in terms of rainfall. I would paint some light to moderate rain across the area this evening. Will likely go dry later on this evening, like late evening on into the overnight until we welcome that front in from west to east, probably midnight, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. That rain will linger tomorrow morning. Here's your morning rush hour. Look at temperatures. We're in the 40s tomorrow morning, so it will be cooler outside. We'll clear those skies out quickly by midday tomorrow. I think a beautiful day. It is going to be windy out of the west, though, and we should have mostly sunny skies. Temperatures trying to bounce back and recover up into the upper 50s tomorrow. So not a bad day. Again, lots of sunshine expected tomorrow after we get this front out of here. But the big picture and all of our minds go towards the weekend. What happens then? We're going to be sitting on the base of this trough. So cold air up here, that cold air sinking down to the south. There'll be a nice little area of jet stream energy as well. That will trigger some showers on Friday. Notice how they're scattered around the area, but they're in the area. So we have to throw some shower chances in for that Guardian Lions home opener. That will likely linger into Saturday. So if you do have a charity event, perhaps you've got Saturday afternoon. Barely got that in. We're looking okay. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. We're in the 50s to near 60 next 2 days. And then we have some cooler air this weekend. Easter Sunday still looks dry at this point. And then we deal with more spring-like showers next week. Bets.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Matt. Good news there. Well, still ahead for us.
We the best music. Another one. DJ Khaled.
He is the master behind many of today's biggest hits, and we have details on how Hollywood is honoring one of the top DJs.
Then, itching for a swim? Hear how one dog owner breaks the news that it's not quite pool time yet. You gotta wait a little longer, buddy.
Talking DJ Khaled today and Hollywood Walk of Fame. Thank you.
Welcome back to What's New. It is now time for our entertainment headlines. Kiara Cotton is here with our Wednesday Pop Break.
All right, Key, what do you have for us today?
Hey, Jay and Betsy, he is one of hip-hop's biggest personalities, and now he's being recognized for his contributions. DJ Khaled, also known as Mr. We the Best, was presented with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame yesterday. He was joined by his wife, 2 children, and fellow artists who championed his career, including Jay-Z, Fat Joe, Diddy, L.A. Reid, and so many more. Khaled got his big break after years of DJing in New York when he became the stage DJ for hip-hop collective Terror Squad. Since then, he's released numerous platinum and multi-platinum singles and albums with some of the music industry's most elite talent. And Keke Palmer is heading to the game show space. The 28-year-old multi-hyphenate has signed on to host a reboot of Password. The reboot of the 1960s game show will be an extension of The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Fallon and other celebrity guests will face off against contestants as they try to guess the secret password using only one-word clues. The 8-episode show is expected to premiere this summer right here on NBC. And bring on the grunge. Members of the rock bands Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Void, and Giants in the Trees have teamed up to form a brand new supergroup called Third Secret. The group is led by former Nirvana bassist Chris Novoselic, Pearl Jam Soundgarden drummer Matt Cameron, and Soundgarden guitarist Kim Thynel. And with credit to its name, the band released a surprise debut album yesterday. The self-titled project is available now on all streaming platforms. Now, Jay and Betsy, I have to be honest, as much as I love music of all genres, this isn't my cup of tea. But how about you guys?
Yeah, you're too young. You're too young, but hey, Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
That's your homework for the day. Go Google that video.
I do know that one.
Once upon a time, that was big.
Well, and they're hitting into like some of the major groups from the 90s. So
Yeah.
you're speaking to my people.
Yeah, that is definitely in our wheelhouse.
All right, Kira, thank you so much.
Sure thing.
All right, right now it's time to check out our daily worth the watch. And today's warmth may have you itching to open the pool. Well, this Golden can relate to that, that's for sure. Watch.
The pool's not open. It's not open yet. It's not open, bud. You have to wait a little bit. No, I can't open it.
He knows it's under there, Beth.
Right?
I'm sorry.
He's got his own little pool there on the cover.
Yeah, he is so confused right now. He knows that's the space where the pool sits. He does not understand or even like that tarp.
I love how his legs in the back are out, straight out the back. Like he is belly down on that pool cover.
He thinks he's going under.
Yeah.
That is so great.
He's in the shallow end this time.
The very shallow end.
This is the best zero entry pool ever.
That is really cool. It won't be long.
Yeah.
What do we have to, usually
July,
Memorial
August.
Day? No, come on. Memorial Day is only a month and a half away. Yeah. All right, coming up on the next half hour of What's New, Baker Mayfield is speaking out for the first time since Deshaun Watson became an official member of the Browns. We'll hear his take.
And big things are coming to Gervasi Vineyards. Oh, I guarantee you this is going to be on your bucket list for summer this year or next. There is new stuff coming to this Northeast Ohio gym.
What a beautiful place. And a new study is out about the number of people who suffer from headaches. We're going to break down the most popular types, who's most impacted, and remedies to relieve the pain. Stay with us.
Behind it.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hey, can you?
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
We have 3 things you need to know now at 5:30. Funeral arrangements for West Salem firefighter Philip Weigel have been announced. They will be this Friday at the Church of the Nazarene in Worcester. The service will start at 10 a.m. Visitation is going to be taking place tomorrow between 1 and 4 in the afternoon, then again from 5 to 9 at the church. He'll be buried at the West Salem Cemetery. Weigel was hit and killed while assisting first responders on the scene of a crash earlier this week in Wayne County.
Betsy, 90 minutes from right now, Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb will mark his first 100 days in office by delivering his inaugural State of the City address. It will take place at Silver Hall at the Maltz Performing Arts Center. That's at Case Western. He's the first new mayor in 16 years. During his campaign, Mayor Bibb promised to modernize City Hall and reform the police department. He's expected to talk about both of those initiatives and his first budget. It's larger than last year and recently won support of City Council. Mark Namick is live tonight at 6 with more on the address.
And a heads up for everybody who's taking to the skies over the next couple of weeks. COVID cases are on the rise again, and now the CDC has extended the travel mask mandate for additional 2 weeks. That order was set to expire on April 18th. Remember, it had been pushed back from March 15th. That would have been this coming Monday, but now the rules are in place until May 3rd. That applies to all planes, all buses, all trains, and transit hubs. So I know that spring break travel is in full swing. A lot of folks going here and there. So now that mask mandate all the way in to the start of May, and we very well could see it extended beyond that too.
Yeah, I've kind of resigned myself to the fact that we'll always be wearing masks on planes.
I think a lot of people are okay with that. Planes, you get pretty close to some people you don't know, and it's fine with me.
Thankfully, they have good air filtration systems.
That's one of the big benefits of the pandemic, like the silver lining moments. They have really improved the ventilation systems and the filtration systems.
That they have.
Well, with all of that, welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us on What's New on this Wednesday afternoon. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford.
Before we turn to the Browns, I quickly want to give a shout out to your Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah.
You know, they started 0-2, and they look like they've forgotten how to hit. You know, they
figured that out.
Boy, have they. They won again today in Cincinnati, and they come home for the season opener, or for the home opener, rather, with a 4-2 record.
Not bad.
I didn't see that coming. So good for them, and we're looking forward to seeing them on Friday. In the meantime, let's talk Browns. Our top talker at 5:30. We have finally heard now from Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield. First time that we've heard from him since the team went out and traded for Deshaun Watson. You all remember what a soap opera that was. We have been waiting anxiously to hear Baker's take on the whole thing, how it went down, and what he expects his future to look like. To talk about that, 3 News sports director Jim Donovan joins us now. Jimmy, good afternoon. What did Baker have to say?
Hey, he said a lot, Jay. He was on for 1 hour and 32 minutes, and it was 1 hour and 7 minutes. That's when we finally got his feelings about this very uncomfortable situation for him. Just plain and simple on the podcast today, he just felt like the Browns lied to him. And so it's going to come down to a story of, did the Browns lie to him and tell him, you're our guy, you're our quarterback, go get that shoulder fixed, and you're the #1 man. We're going to go forward with you, and we'll talk contract extension. Or did the Browns go to his representatives and say, he's our guy, but we are going to take a look at the quarterback landscape out there, and maybe we make a deal? Baker says his story is the right story. He feels he was lied to.
I feel disrespected, 100%, because I was told one thing and they completely did another. That's what I'm in the middle of right now. And you know what? Okay, I got my taste of it because I've had 4 different head coaches in 4 years, a bunch of different coordinators. I've had, talk about the highs. They always come back. They always come back. But like, I mean, I had great times my rookie year. Like I didn't start in the beginning. I came in and got to have fun the back half of the year. 2019 sucked. 2020 was great. Made the playoffs. 2021 was miserable. It's like, I'm just looking for stabilization right now. And like, I know what I need to do for me to be the best version of me.
All right, so there he is. All right, 3 points to make on the backside of that. Number one, he said last year was a miserable year for him, that when he suffered the second shoulder injury in the Arizona Cardinals game, which was like week 4 into the season, he completely lost all of his confidence because he couldn't physically do what he needed to do out on the field to win, and that became scary for him. Number two, he was asked, when you go to your new team, whoever that's going to be, how are you going to be a leader? He said, I think I'm going to have to do it differently than I did in Cleveland, which indicates to me that Baker Mayfield lost the locker room for the Cleveland Browns. In other words, his teammates just didn't feel that he was going to get them across the finish line. Number three, most importantly, that was a dog on the couch with him right there. I don't know if it was his dog, but the dog was asleep, 4 paws up in the air for the entire 137. That is no indication that the podcast was boring.
Yeah, we saw on social media that he recently got a dog. Went into the dog world. Yeah. So, Jimmy, one of the things that he said that jumped out and made headlines was the fact that he said he really wants to go to some dude's cubicle and boo the you-know-what out of him. And see how he handles it. When I heard that, I thought if I'm a prospective team that's thinking about trading for him, I want to see that there's some maturation of Baker Mayfield. And in that statement, in that moment, I immediately thought, what would Pete Carroll have to say about that? I don't think he helped himself.
Yeah, you know, I just think he's always going to be like this, Jay. I don't think anything's ever going to change. He also went on and said, you know what, I play and live with a boulder on my shoulder because he always seems to have to prove something. He really loved his college days. He loves telling the story about Texas Tech and what happened at Oklahoma and winning the Heisman against all odds. He has not enjoyed his pro career so far. And you're right about that. And that seems to indicate, Jay, one of the reasons why there is no trade market out there right now for Baker Mayfield. 2 problems. Number one, what we just talked about. And number 2, that contract, $18.85 million. That's going to be hard for some team to pick up.
Yep, that's a whole lot of money, and I have a feeling the Browns are going to end up paying a lot of that.
Probably.
Jimmy, thanks. We'll see you at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Well, there are some big changes coming to a Canton gem. Gervasi Vineyard says they broke ground on a new 20,000 square foot project. The expansion will include 2 new structures with 4 separate spaces. First up, a spa. You had me at hi. I know that wasn't in the sentence, but it got me all discombobulated. Wine and a spa? Are you kidding me? This is going to have state-of-the-art design. It's going to have state-of-the-art equipment. There's also going to be a cave that's an underground tasting room adjoined by a wine barrel cave for wine barrel aging. And then next will be the product warehouse and distribution facility. That's right, they're expanding. And last will be the rick house to store barrels of bourbon to support the vineyard's growing needs. Everything is expected to be completed by next spring. So maybe not this year's bucket list, although if you go down there, what a phenomenal place to go and hang out on a beautiful summer evening.
It's gorgeous.
And they just keep like adding more. Like they've got the live music now occasionally, and you walk out through the vineyard and it's so beautiful. And they've got like the pond there, and if you've eaten in the barn, it's all fancy, and it's a great place to go on like a date night. It's even a better place to go with your girlfriends. And you can do your own thing.
Girls' night out then.
Yeah.
You highly recommend it for the girls' night out. I'll tell you, I think that it is this local gem that we know about, but I think what they're doing here is they're going to make this a destination spot for travelers from all over the United States. Why not?
Think about what else is in Canton.
Exactly.
That's the football
And it draws
Hall of Fame.
a lot of visitors.
I love football, okay? I don't know all about it. I don't care about the stats or, you know, the rings and all that stuff. You can go to the Football Hall of Fame. I'm going to Gervasi Vineyard.
So the men come
at the table
for the Hall of Fame, and the women can go to
not all,
the beautiful scenery at the
Not
winery.
all, but yes.
Okay, very good.
And now add a spa to that, please.
Yeah, it looks great.
All right, speaking of spas and wellness, coming up in our Wellness Wednesday segment, a new report shows more than half of the world's population suffers from headaches. We break down the biggest reasons why and tricks to alleviating the pain.
I'll be paying attention to that. I could use a couple of tips. Then, as the demand for a skilled labor force skyrockets, one former educator is on a mission to make sure kids are getting the hands-on experience they need to pursue trades. But first, Matt's back. Here's our weather in a jiffy. Hi again, Matt.
Yeah, hey guys. Lots of high fives on the way to work, going down the streets of downtown Cleveland. A couple people high fiving. Let's take a live look out front right now to see what's going on. Look at all the people cheering on the weather team today. That's what 70s will get you in April. Oh, what a nice group of folks out there. We'll go hand out candy after the show. We'll be back with that forecast after this.
All right, Matt, Jay and I are on a mission to find where all the Clevelands are in the United States, like the real list.
Right.
I found a Cleveland, New Mexico. There's that.
Wouldn't put that past you. You guys have fun over there, all right?
I'm not going there.
What about Cleveland, Ohio?
Don't give up on it, Jay. Cleveland, New Mexico, I'm sure is a nice place. Get a little shot glass, take it home, get a little collection. Everyone likes stuff from where they are. They just like to say where they went, you know? Do you ever look at that stuff again?
We are in Cleveland, and we love to wear Cleveland stuff.
Right, but we
love
live
our
here.
T-shirts.
It's a little different than like, hey, I went to the Outer Banks. Check me out. That's great. Anyway, this little pet peeve of mine. Like, who cares where you've been? All right, waves of rain out towards the west. This is moving in. Pretty decent downpours now. Areas of northern Ashland County. This will get up into the Wellington area, eventually into Medina here shortly. That rain will overspread the Cleveland-Akron corridor corridor, up towards the 77 corridor as well, out towards the east here over the next couple hours. You can see what we're dealing with. This is the bulk of the action with the storm system associated with the cold front, which is well west. We've got this batch of showers that'll move through this evening, so kind of rainy this evening, spotty downpours, maybe a rumble of thunder. Not expecting anything severe with this. What we'll have to keep an eye on is this little area energy here associated with the cold front. What I overlaid on there is the atmospheric energy, or the ability of the atmosphere to produce lift. And we've got a pretty decent little window that's going to slide in here probably 9, 10, 11 o'clock midnight. And we'll have to keep an eye on that line of storms out towards the west, which is now just on the Illinois-Indiana border. That may produce some gusty thunderstorms around here. Strong winds would be really the primary threat with that. The bigger picture down to the south paints a tornadic scene as you get down towards areas of Louisiana, Mississippi as well. They're dealing with a blizzard on the backside of this system up in North Dakota. But you see all the ongoing orange are the severe thunderstorm warnings and several tornado warnings in there as well. So it's going to be a pretty rough night for them down there. Overall, this system, though, has underproduced. We saw 9 tornadoes Monday, 9 tornadoes yesterday. Today, no tornadoes so far. So it really has been, thankfully, less severe in terms of the tornadic activity over the last 3 days. So let's keep it that way tonight, shall we? Not expecting a tornado threat locally. We are dealing with warm enough temperatures for that instability, though. We're up near 80 in Dover right now. Cooler with the rain-cooled air out towards the west. Your National Zymer hour-by-hour forecast bringing in some of those showers and thunderstorms. It doesn't have a good handle on the rain here this evening. I think that does get out of here, and then this is what we'll be watching. Probably squish this a little bit further down to the south. Bottom line, we will have a chance for some gusty storms, 11, midnight, 1 o'clock. That'll move on out. We'll have leftover showers, but the temperature drop has already happened. We're in the 40s tomorrow morning. What a change, right? We'll start with clouds, some showers tomorrow. We'll clear things out. Wall-to-wall sunshine expected during the midday and afternoon, even into the evening hours tomorrow. We'll try to bounce those temperatures back near 60 degrees. It will be breezy tomorrow as that low pressure wraps up off towards our north. So, hey, if you've got golf plans tomorrow, looking good. Look at the clouds in the morning giving away to sunshine. We'll be pretty breezy, though, so it's going to be a little rough on the course there. As we go through time, this low pressure, as I mentioned, wrapping up, all the isobars indicating the wind, so we'll be pretty gusty around here as we look forward to Friday. Friday looks kind of interesting. We're going to have just a little area of energy coming through the atmosphere on the base, the southern end of this trough. That will likely kick off some showers during the day Friday. Where those showers are for the Guardians home opener, that's the big question, but they're going to be in the vicinity. So plan for some showers. It seems to always be the case. And that shower chance will continue into Saturday, especially early. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. We come with cooler temperatures this weekend. Easter Sunday looks dry, showery to start next week, and still on the cool side. So we'll see if we go from there. It does look like maybe a big warm up in the end of the 10-day, but we're not quite there yet, Jay.
All right. Thanks, I think. Okay, in today's Wellness Wednesday report, we're talking about headaches. A new study this week shows how they're impacting more than half of the world's population. I'm not surprised by that.
Not at all. NBC senior consumer investigative correspondent Vicki Nguyen has the details.
Are you suffering from horrible headaches that just won't go away? New research shows you're not alone. According to a study published in the Journal of Headache and Pain, nearly 16% of the world's population suffers from a headache on any given day. And more than half of the population deals with a headache disorder every year. 26% report having a tension-type headache that causes mild to moderate pain, while 14% say they struggle with more intense migraines, which can cause severe pain. And nearly 5% say they deal with a headache for 15 or more days a month.
Headaches are really prevalent. It is a big public health problem.
Researchers say all types of headaches are more common in females than males, likely due to a difference in hormones. But more serious types of headaches, like migraines, are nearly twice as common in women than men.
It's been really difficult living with them.
28-year-old Natalie Abrams, a software engineer, says she had her first migraine in middle school. 2 years ago, she started getting them daily.
You've been struggling with these headaches for 2 years now. What is your hope for getting better?
I've now seen 4 different neurologists. I've tried so many different medications. I get the migraine protocol of Botox every 12 weeks, and that has been an incredible help.
While chronic headaches can be debilitating, experts say there are ways to help ease the pain. Look for different stressors in your life, like lack of sleep, that could be triggering your headache. Be mindful of things like excessive noise or bright lighting that could worsen your condition. And make sure to consult your doctor about any preventative medication you could be taking.
I have days where I wake up in the morning or I'm running around and I'm like, man, I got a headache.
That's the worst when you wake up with one.
I realize, like, I am like this.
So yours are tension headaches, most likely.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
totally.
Yeah, I know. You got to catch yourself. Sometimes if you have a headache, you should immediately feel. Do you have stress in your shoulders? They recommend doing the rolls. You do the shoulder rolls forward and then backwards for like 30 seconds. The stretching works. I get my migraines. I get headaches on a regular basis. They're horrible. I know people that get them severe, up to 15 a month.
Wow.
There's so many different medications. They all come with different side effects. I've tried many of the medications, not much success at all. I think you just kind of grin and bear it. You learn to live with it. But there's so much more that we don't know about migraines in particular and headaches than what we know.
And there's a lot that the weather can impact too.
It can.
Barometric pressure changes specifically. A lot of times when we're going from low pressure to high pressure, your body is adjusting to that, and some people are very sensitive
From
to
low
it.
to high.
Typically it'll be
Wow,
from
that's
low
interesting.
to high. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty.
Next up, as shop classes become a thing of the past, one former educator is on a mission to make sure students are still getting the hands-on experience.
Probably wouldn't surprise you if I told you shop class was my favorite class in high school.
Not surprising at all.
I loved it. Then these Richmond Heights basketball players are the real MVPs of their town. How the city is celebrating their recent historic win is our show of something good. Boy, it used to be so much fun. Shop class.
Yep.
And they were a mainstay in a lot of high school curriculums, but they're quickly disappearing. Shrinking budgets and the emphasis on college are partially to blame.
But right now, the demand for workers in skilled trades is climbing. It is skyrocketing. And that's why a former educator is seizing the opportunity to get more students working with their hands. January Keaton has the story.
Forget the books. Ditch the traditional classroom.
It's not going in.
No. And get your hands dirty.
I love learning in this type of environment.
Students from Laurel School are stripping and then rebuilding vintage motorcycles. This is Moto Go, a nonprofit bringing shop class back to local schools.
The idea is that by using your hands, you're waking up a different part of your brain that could change the trajectory of your future.
Vaughn and her partner founded Moto Go in 2018. Today, the organization works directly with schools across Northeast Ohio and throughout the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. 500 students have already gone through the program.
So they're learning that failure is not a step on the road to success. Sometimes failing is the success. You need to mess it up before that motorcycle runs.
When you're going to put it on, you're looking for this tab.
Moto Go instructors are there to coach and support, but students are doing all the work while learning skills, developing patience, and problem solving.
We've had to replace things that shouldn't have broken in the first place because it's such a strong metal, and other parts I've just been able to slide on.
Good job.
I feel like a lot of these are kind of very more practical skills because like you're using your hands and learning how to do all these things. You can actually see the fruit of your labor as you make it.
Especially when an engine fires up for the first time. These Moto Go students have the added satisfaction that their work will be displayed at the Crawford Auto Museum's Lure of Motorcycling in Ohio exhibit.
Oh, it's so cool to think that the general public in Cleveland is going to see shop class on display as a piece of artwork in a museum, just as it should be.
January Keaton, 3 News.
What a cool story. Still ahead, remember that big win for the Richmond Heights basketball team? We're going to show you how the city is celebrating the team's championship. It's our Show Us Something Good.
Hey, Al, you have me. You're getting good sound here out in University Circle. Not raining yet.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you hear me? I am out here in Ohio City.
Hey, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Laura Queso's Mike. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Laura Queso. We're with Jay Crawford. We're talking about news. Thanks, Al. Thanks, Al. I gotcha.
And drinking beer. Hey, I love those things, those eggs.
We have a great follow-up for you today on our show, Is Something Good. It's a follow-up to the story we aired last month. The city of Richmond Heights honored their state champion boys basketball team with a parade. They won Ohio's Division IV championship on March 20th, and they are the first team to win the title in school history. After the parade, there were a bunch of festivities at the school. Many, many congratulations to the team, and of course the district too.
Job well done.
Definitely.
That's it for What's New. We're back tomorrow at 5, and we hope to see you then.
Jay and Laura take over with 3 News at 6 next.
State of the City.
Well, I'm fairly satisfied so far. I want to give the man a chance.
We have team coverage tonight. Mark Naiman previews Mayor Justin Bibb's address as Neil Fisher explains how residents feel about the mayor's first 100 days. Suspect arrested. The man wanted in the Brooklyn subway attack is now in custody. The link Ohio has to the incident. Feeling disrespected. Baker Mayfield speaks out about his situation with the Browns. Meanwhile, Jim Donovan has the latest on Mayfield's thoughts for his future in the NFL. And a plea for help.
Well, you know, their husband and brothers and sons are in Ukraine. They would like to come back. Those men are fighting for that land.
Lindsey Buckingham sits down with a Ukrainian bishop who just got back from Ukraine. He details what he saw there and how you can still help out.
Live from WKYC Studios, this is 3 News at 6.
Good evening, and thanks for being with us. I'm Laura Queso.
And I'm Jay Crawford in for Russ tonight. Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb will give his first State of the City address.
Bibb was sworn in January as the city's 58th mayor and became the first new mayor in 16 years.
His address is set to begin at 7 p.m. at the Maltz Performing Arts Center.